Um, 2 weeks ago when I was here, I mentioned that I hadn't been able to work on my newer novel because I wanted my other one back from the editor. Well, it
Yeah.
came back Tuesday night, so a week ago. So I've had it in hand for 10 days. So um, I went through it and kind of wrote out notes about what she said I had, the plot stuff. I mean, there's always like a word choice or whatever,
Right.
those are easy to fix.
The macro
Right, the
picture.
macro, right. So
Yeah.
I went through and I kind of wrote out everything. And then of course I have some notes from my beta readers. And I need to kind of pull it all together. And I just haven't, it's like, it seems so big. It was like one of those things like, where do I start? Because literally I've got to change, I'm gonna have to kind of change the thread through the story a little bit. I mean, there's just some issues. My main female character is too perfect, and her life is a little too perfect, and I need to throw some crap at her, like more stuff at her. And so I've worked on my nonfiction side. I write essays on Medium. I've written a ton, and it's been really good for me because it's been very satisfying. But I have my storyboard, my corkboard over here, and I'm thinking, I was going to run this by you. I'm thinking about like going back into the acts and then thinking about where I'm going to start sticking stuff. I mean, there's like, when the police come to one of the dance halls and she gets away, but I think now she's going to end up in the police station. So that's an easy thing, right?
Well, no, because that one's going to take you off down a rabbit hole. But
okay,
you can you can roughen a character's experience without her completely sliding to quote the other side of the tracks.
Okay.
And
I wasn't going to put her in jail, but I was going to have her taken down.
What you do is she gets caught up in the sweep, and she gets questioned, and she allow her to experience the fear. Okay. But she doesn't have to be one of the ones to be the paddy wagon. And this is you can actually do this because you have a period piece.
Yeah.
You can end up allowing the police officer to let her go. You've never been on my docket before. You've never been here before.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say you're a nice looking lady, and I'm just gonna let you go. Modern readers would see that as getting caught up in or getting released on white privilege. But
right.
That in fact can allow you to let her experience that moment, right. And it will heighten her awareness of the dichotomy in society and make her responses more complex as she goes along. Yes, now she knows. I go to the dance hall, I could get arrested. I got away this time. My friend didn't. Maybe, she goes in and arranges bail for a friend or something like that, or and that sort of thing. So she can experience it, but it doesn't have to derail the whole story. But that was in fact what I said. How can you roughen up a perfect character?
Right.
What you do is you give them something to face that either makes them recognize their privilege, makes them recognize something that they didn't before. Normally because she, again, making a modern equivalent, because she's a white person, she doesn't get caught up driving while black. She gets caught up in something, and somebody says, "Oh, you're such a nice little lady." I mean, but she could realize, and she's a librarian. She's smart. She knows that she got off because of something inherent to her and other people didn't. And you're you want her to go to college.
Right.
One of the things that, and I mean, because the right constantly accuses this of is colleges are places of activism and becoming aware of what you didn't know.
Right.
This would be her first step in that direction. She just didn't see this complexity of society.
Right.
You know, and so
Okay.
yeah, you don't have to send her to jail.
Okay.
You can
The
have
other, yeah, the other thing I have to
yeah.
do is her father helps her find a place to live, like an apartment, in this lady's basement, but she needs to find it herself. You know what I mean? She needs to do
Yeah.
the work. I mean, there's just like, there's just some things that, you
And
know,
you can even still have the father offer it.
sure.
But and now I don't know about the order of events, but you
Right.
could
It's a
even
little bit later in the book. Yeah, it's just like all
that's
these.
actually perfect. That's actually
Yeah.
perfect, because then what she tells her father is, I'm understanding that I'm getting through life on a lot of privilege and I really need to do this on my own. I need to find out who I am as a person, not
Right.
who I am as your daughter.
Yeah.
So I thank you for the offer, but I'm going to find the apartment myself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Again, because it will have elevated her social conscience to have experienced
Right.
that, and it would give meaning and depth to the conversation.
Right.
To say thank you for your offer, Dad, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because it's one of those things in the story that she does grow, but she doesn't really grow enough. And
This is one of those ways it will.
It's not it's not like on the page, you know,
Yeah.
her saying those things and thinking those things. So yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question that